I'm not really here. I'm actually on vacation this week. But this is a pre-recorded message to ask you to please get a calendar and to put on Tuesday, June the 11th at 5:30, Tikkun Leil Shavuot. The Tikkun Leil Shavuot the Tikkun Leil, is the evening study session. It's our biggest study session of the year. And we can get 50, 60 people to this. Although the number of people gets a little smaller the longer we go into the evening. The original custom of the Tikkun Leil Shavuot was to study all the way to Shacharit, all the way to the morning service. And I've done that a number of times, but that was when I was much younger. But we do go late into the night, but we split it into different sections so that you can stay for as much as you want. And so let me share what we're going to be looking at our Tikkun Leil Shavuot on Tuesday the 11th of June. Starting at 5:30, I'm going to be leading a session called Beyond the Gender Boundary. This goes back to my rabbinic thesis that I shared with the community nearly 10 years ago. I'm going to lead a text-based exploration on whether or not it's possible to move beyond the rather simplistic male-female gender boundary system that we have in society. Is it possible to move beyond it in Judaism? In particular, for example, when it comes to our prayer. In our prayer life, Hebrew is a very gendered language. Things are either male or female, although there are those who are creating non-gendered Hebrew. What would it mean for us to explore that? Would it affirm the identities, particularly of those who say that they are neither male nor female? Or would it erase the identities of those who are male or those who are female? What would it mean to us? This is a really important conversation as society's understanding of gender really changes. So I really encourage you to come and join us for that. And particularly if you have young people in the community, particularly the teenagers and even younger, who have a very different understanding of gender to those who may be much older. And I encourage you to come so that we can have a really important conversation about gender and Judaism. After that, at 6:30, is the vegetarian potluck dinner. The tradition on Shavuot is to bring dairy food, but there are vegans in the community. You don't have to bring dairy food, but it is a vegetarian potluck dinner. And please bring enough food for yourself and to share. So if you are bringing 4 people, then please bring enough food for 5. If you're bringing yourself, please bring enough food for 2. Then at 7:30, we look at 70 Faces of Torah. I'll be sharing examples of how strictly and how loosely texts can be interpreted in Judaism. This is also a really important conversation. It's the boundary of interpretation. Because there are those who lean towards a strict interpretation, and there are those who lean towards a more lenient interpretation. And we look at examples of both to try to work out which is most appropriate. Then at 8:30, our world-famous cheesecake competition. I don't know why people say that in New Mexico. Everything is world-famous. Our cheesecake competition, which is a real competition. And you bring your cheesecake and we blind taste test so that we don't know whose is whose. We vote on it and then we all eat cheesecake and the winner gets a certificate. At 9 o'clock, student Rabbi Ziva will be with us. She's leading Beyond the Boundary of the Self-Help section. She's going to be exploring happiness and living a better life through commentary on the Elu Devarim passage, which we sometimes recite in the morning service. And then the late night session is me. It's called All the People Are Holy. I'll be looking at the boundaries of spirituality and holiness and how they've shifted over time and what that means for our own expression of Judaism. And I don't know when that session finishes. It could finish at midnight, it could finish at 1, it could finish at 2. We've gone on quite long before. The idea is that you are invited to stay for as much of this as possible. But we particularly want to encourage you to join us for the opening sessions at the very least. The discussion about whether or not it's appropriate to go beyond the gender boundary and how we might, and also to join us for our vegetarian potluck dinner. It's really important, especially after COVID, that our community keeps coming back to sit and eat together. We sit and study together, which is really important, but sitting and eating together is a different kind of interaction, and we really encourage as many people as possible to join us for that. That's on Tuesday, June the 11th, starting at 5:30. I won't be seeing you this evening, I'll be off, but please join Cantor Liana this Shabbat, and I wish you Shabbat Shalom.